right to the mouth.
take the mic right to the mouth. Eat it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I've got a list here. I got way too excited last week.
Yeah?
Because there's like a certain amount of when you're being recorded, you act differently.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think about it, and it makes it worse.
I tend to block that part out.
That's good. That's like, I asked my mom the other day, because she goes on and never stops talking about like stuff that I don't care about at all, ever. It's like,
That's a mom thing. I got
is
the
it?
earful today. Yes.
It's so dude, I feel like such an asshole, but like, I was in the car the other day going to recycling with her, and I was like, she's just going on and on and on. And it's like, and I wondered something, and so I asked her, like, have you ever thought about if the person you're talking to is interested in what you're talking about? And she's like, no. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. Some people just don't even think about that.
Right.
At all. Because
some people it's therapeutic for. They just, need to get it off their chest.
Well, no, for sure it feels good. Like girls, I've heard that they release serotonin when they talk. So like you don't even have to be like, you just have to have the pretense of listening to them talk.
Oh,
like,
okay. This makes sense. It totally makes sense.
That sounds bad, but
no.
Yeah. So I suspect we've got a similar, but probably less rewarding. Anyway, yeah, I have been. Oh my god!
Ain't none of the females right off the bat.
I mean, you got to put them in their place, you know. Comedy.
Zinger.
Oh my god, that's the other thing. I was thinking about that too. Like comedy, when it's like, so comedy podcasts. Sometimes you're just not feeling funny, and I think that's all right. So what we've got to do. The other thing is like you have to build the funny foundation. Like my friends and I that have been joking around online for years and years together, we've got a funny foundation of things that we call back on, so it makes it really easy. Because there'll be like a perfect moment to reference something, and you just like crush it.
Yeah, callbacks are nice.
So you got to build that foundation. One of them is Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Who I didn't know who he was, but he was just one of the stupid accents we would do.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, Michael Caine. Michael Caine into Wibbly Gibblies. He likes dogs' asses. The wibblier gibblier, the better. So good.
No, wibbly gibbly. Did I hear that correctly? Is that the wagging motion?
It's like a corgi, you know.
Lack of tail wagging motion.
It's just a thick unit.
It's a thick boy.
Oh god. Yeah. So thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me again and again.
Last podcast, not only did I get too excited, I panicked. Like I didn't have anything to say.
Not good.
And that's when
we're just talking. Forget that it's being filmed.
That's just talking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Because it's like you don't want to, like, some people, like if I was my true self, I would just like sit here and not say much. And that's not good for the people.
Very introspective.
So I know. And so there's a balance where it's like you pretty much want to be yourself, but you want to be like a little bit
of a showman.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And I overdid it last time. You got to learn. Mm-hmm. You never know if it's enough until you do too much, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Push those boundaries.
Yeah, last time when we were just talking, we started off about the snow.
It's coming again, I heard. 13 inches Wednesday.
Really?
Yes. We're going to be in April. It's 50 what? 48. High of 49.
It's pretty nice out.
Yeah.
For Vermont.
It's springtime. It should be springtime, but
yeah, I would have been.
We're not done
yet.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't know if you're done with it. It's not done with us, though.
Yeah, it's just a shame that all the snow comes at the end now instead of like in the beginning or in the middle when it can stay cold.
What's up with that?
Now we get snow and it just melts because it's spring now.
Mm-hmm. Flooding. It's great.
Yeah, winter starts later and ends later now. In terms of snowfall.
Yeah.
Smart. But yeah, I panicked last time we were talking about the snow, and I immediately blanked when you're like, "So how about you, James?" or something like that. And I just immediately I was like, "Oh, here's my list."
No, that's
So that was
that's
good to have.
funny in of itself, though.
Yeah,
You know, everything's a joke if you take it that way.
yeah. So at the top of my list, not to immediately, but I just noticed it says toe ring bitches.
Toe ring bitches.
It's a type of girl. There's a show called The Danny Brown Show on YouTube I used to like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
His first 35 or so episodes are pretty awesome.
That's a lot of episodes.
But he references the toe ring bitches, which is funny because it's like he'll be talking about generalities of oh, these kind of people do this and those kind of people are like that, and he's like, oh, but those toe ring bitches.
Toe ring. I don't know anybody that wears a toe ring. I'm like on the outside, I guess. I don't know really what a toe ring bitch is.
I feel like it's kind of like a festival type girl, maybe.
Okay, that makes sense. They wear excessive jewelry.
A little on the wild side. But yeah, I panicked after the snow conversation went right to the list last time. And then the other thing I was thinking is, until we develop, it is going to be mostly comedy podcast, but I decided it's like if you can't always be funny, then you can just talk about whatever. And
yeah, let's not try and be anything.
Yeah,
just be Vermonters.
Oh yeah, dude, Vermont.
Yeah, there, bud. Tell you what.
I was doing tours around the country, on Google Maps and watching videos.
I thought you were jet setting. I was like, what?
I mean, kind of. I went to North Carolina recently.
Did you?
I liked it.
Whereabouts?
The Outer Banks. I call them the Inner Outer Banks.
Okay.
Because they've got ones on the outside and then it curves in.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's by Myrtle.
Is that a gulf? Is that technically a gulf? The inner outer portion?
Yeah, it curves because it's the start of the state goes sort of straight down outwards into the sea, and then it suddenly curves in.
Man.
It's a bit of a bay.
A bit of a bay. Wee bit of a bay.
And it's the Gold Coast. Yeah, wee bit of the bay. And they do talk like that sort of over there where they landed first. The accents kind of got stuck in some of those islands. And turned
really?
Yeah, they mutated like crazy. And nobody can understand them.
Sounds about right.
It's called the Gold Coast. It's like a shipwreck coast.
Oh, yes. You were explaining that to me a while ago. You had wanted to go there, and you went there. Nice.
There could be hundreds or thousands of wrecked ships of gold in them down there. It'd be so fun if you were just allowed to explore them and loot them.
Absolutely. I mean, who's stopping you?
Dude, there's a guy.
In true pirate spirit, you probably should.
I want to.
Whatever. I found it. It's mine.
That'd be awesome. I was playing with my friends and I was talking about dressing up for Christmas, and I was like, it'd be fun to be like Sonic the Hedgehog or Shrek.
They're vastly different.
Because Sonic is fun because he just does the thing with his finger.
Oh yeah, that's
he's got the eyebrows and the finger. He's like, nah. He's sassy.
He's a little sassy.
He's a little Sasquatch. But then my friend was like, no, you should be a sassy black lady.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I wish I could. And were you there when Mike was Rick James for Halloween?
Yes.
I was telling him about that. I was like, dude, he was in my class for 20 minutes, and I thought he was a real black person.
Oh, good. Yeah. He went all out for that. He looked completely like Rick James. You were like, who is this person?
It was so awesome. And I think Skylar did the Pirate the same year, which was 10 out of 10.
Sparrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They both definitely shot for the moon on those get-ups.
I can never be able to agree with anybody ever again.
It's right. It's true. You gotta have some sass now.
Someone studies some serious stuff. You're like,
It's unavoidable. Unavoidable sass.
It's so funny. But he's like, but I was saying how I didn't even recognize Mike. I thought he was a real black person, even though I'd known him for years. That's how good it was.
Yeah, it was
And I was like,
top-notch
does
for
that
sure.
mean if I do it, that people will think it's real? And he's like, no, they'd be able to tell by your stiff ass mannerisms, dude. I'm like, fuck, he's probably right.
You were unavoidably Caucasian, sir.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely part Neanderthal. Do you think Neanderthals are like clumsy, lanky dork genes? Because they say that you know,
I mean, the typical depiction is kind of broad, I think. Muscular, they had to be.
yeah. Because they say that like Europeans, like 10% of their DNA is like Neanderthal generally, or something like that. Whereas the rest of the world doesn't really have much.
Really interesting. Yeah. That was the epicenter of that era. That's where they all lived. It's kind of European.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's like not a lot of. It's funny though, because once in a while you get one white guy that's like smooth as shit, can dance and make beats and all that stuff, But they're rare. But they do exist.
Right.
Like Scott Storch, she did all like the 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying beats.
Oh, interesting factoid. White man hooking up the gangster dude. How many times did he get shot? A bunch of times, right?
Oh, 50 Cent? Yeah, a bunch of times, like 9 times or something in his legs, I think. I think he was sitting in a car. I forget.
Oh, that totally ruins the story. I thought it was like, standoff type deal when you get him in the chest and somehow survive. But like if he was hiding in a car sitting down, different story.
Yeah, man. When I had that system in my car in high school,
was it 212-inch or 210-inch? 212-inch full bass. I remember melting in the back of the seat at least a handful of times.
Dude, and that 50 Cent album, and I had the 6-inch Alpine speakers. They sounded so good, like because everybody's all obsessed with subwoofer bass. Like regular bass is nice too.
Yeah, I like a good.
It had it all.
Low mid.
Yeah, it had sub bass, normal bass, and good highs with the tweeter. Dude, it sounded so good. And that whole album, I've been meaning to recreate that because, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to or if I'm going to. But man, that Get Rich or Die Trying album was made for subwoofers. All the songs are like, you don't even hear it without the subwoofers.
I'm ridiculously disappointed with the equalization in my newer Forester. I swapped out the speakers and it didn't seem to do much. I think it's the factory stereo just doesn't have enough wattage or something.
If you go,
it's terrible.
If you want to put in an aftermarket head unit, there's some pretty affordable ones if you don't care about having like a video screen, which I don't really care. I just want good sounding music. So if you go to crutchfield.com.
Yeah, that's where I got my speakers from.
And you put in your model, because there's always like wires and adapters.
Yeah, the
and
harness kit.
How everything has to fit with like the face plates and all this stuff. It knows. It's like when you go to AutoZone and you put in your car and your year and your engine, and it knows like what spark plugs and oil and everything you need.
Yeah.
Crutchfield does the same thing. So if you just put in your car,
electronics, yeah,
you don't even have to buy everything from there. Like you can just find out exactly what adapters and everything you need and what'll work, and then you just buy it on Amazon or whatever you want.
Right. Yeah.
So that
cross shopping is always a good idea.
That's always helped me because it's like I never finding the right adapters. Oh, I just put speakers in my truck and I just send the first adapters back for the doors. And the second pair came and it sounds good.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got the adapters so you don't have to mess around. It's like the same screw pattern. And you're not drilling any holes into the frame or anything like that. It's nice. Very nice.
I remember listening to that. This sounded so good. My first Audi, the 100S, my first car, the speakers went behind the back seats, sort of like on that trunk divider flat piece.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these, I think that made them sound better because car audio is notoriously difficult to sound good.
Yes.
Just because the shape of an inside of a car and where the speakers go is not good for
noise and having glass cuts down on treble quite a bit.
But there's this guy, one of my favorite YouTube channels for technology. He actually lives in New Hampshire, I think. But he did this do-it-yourself speakers, and they're like the best sounding speaker body you can make. And you just put any speaker in the body. They're really big, which is why nobody uses them because they're a little impractical with their size. But they're like C-shaped. They're almost like, I forget if they're C-shaped or like horn-shaped. But where the glass meets the trunk was kind of like that.
Oh.
And I realized that the trunk sort of acted like a giant, almost like a sealed box, which I think is part of why the bass was so good. Not the sub bass, but the normal bass with the 6-inch speakers.
Right.
I remember having those. I remember driving. It's crazy how these memories, because of the audio sounded so good. But I remember going over the Gulf into Ludlow. Like you get out of the Gulf, and you're just at that peak at the end.
Yeah.
Listening to Such Great Heights Come Down Now, because it's got the boop 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 boop. That is so clear on those speakers.
They also did a phenomenal job recording that, like the stereo play with the ping ponging effect with the. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's crazy how much is in some music that you'll just never hear if you don't have awesome speakers.
Yeah, it's really sad. Also, like, there's certain frequencies that get it cut out completely. I remember listening to can't remember what song it was now, but it was from the band Finch, and they had it was like what do you call that? Where it goes back and forth. It's like a
panning.
Yeah, but like a call and response.
Yeah.
With the guitars. So guitar 1, guitar 2, it was dun it, and then the other one would go dun it, and it was back and forth. It was such a terrible sound system that my friend had that all you would hear was dun dun
and no response.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm missing half of this song right now because of your crappy stereo system.
Yeah, you've got to
rile me up. You riled up. But that's what the Subaru does to me. You should see the EQ in it. It's literally, the mid is at -5 or something. The bass is at 9, which for some reason it caps out at 9. So that's what the setting is. 9, -7, and -9. It's so treble heavy and like absolutely no bass. You have to cut all the frequencies to bring the bass
What's the treble at?
Like -9. It's like almost off.
Yeah. I mean, you can get a head unit for like 100. You can get a budget one for like 100.
I'm going to have to at some point.
Still, I mean, even the budget ones sound way better than the stock ones.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just not enough power because I have aftermarket speakers.
That's what it is.
Hitting pretty hard, but
yeah, no, you're exactly right. I was reading online about it, and that's exactly what they're saying. They're like, if you replace your factory speakers in the car, they're going to sound a lot better, but you're never going to get the full potential out of them until you replace the head unit because the stock ones just aren't powerful enough to drive a high-quality speaker to its fullest.
I do want to keep it, though, with the
stock one?
With the little touchy. No, I don't need
the with the touchscreen?
I like to have the backup camera.
Oh, backup camera, yeah.
Accustomed to it. I hate saying that because
no, it's nice.
We didn't have them, but when you're fully loaded with laundry, I was today.
My backup camera is great.
Yeah.
Like I was watching a JH Diesel channel. He's got like this old 80s Chevy body that he like jacked up with mudding tires and made a bunch of power. Or I forget which channel. I watched so many restoration channels, but end of the story is they put a little backup camera in it. A little screen in it. Even though all the interior looks like 1987, one little square is backup camera, which is fine. Because it's like if you watch it, did you ever see Cowboy Bebop?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I'm not recalling it right now.
It's an anime. They've got futuristic sort of like space fighter jets, and his has a screen retrofitted on the dashboard. So it's like it's a tale as old as time,
Mm-hmm.
You get like
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it's so stupid. True as it can be, but like, so you get these platforms.
We're just gonna randomly sprinkle the show.
It's
Beauty
funny
and the
though,
Beast callbacks.
dude. As we started doing that one, that's one of the best ones, dude. When someone complains about something that happens live, just be like, "Yeah, tale as old as time." But yeah, no, you get a platform that was built for a purpose, and it does 99% of that purpose perfectly. But then the brains of it, the future happens, and you just retrofit some new brains on top. The whole system is still great. It just needs a little bit of a fresh brains.
Old brains get that dementia. You gotta watch out for it.
Well, they didn't really have brains back then. Like the battleships, I was watching battleship videos to fall asleep to, and they got like quote unquote computers to calculate the shots, but it wasn't like a modern computer. It wasn't like digital. I don't even know how they work. It's crazy. They just got wires and lights, and it somehow figures out how to aim and shoot the guns. It's insane.
Cartoon magic.
But
what do we got on that list?
Boggin Deep.
We skipped over touring bitches. We just said what they were.
It's just a funny Danny Brown thing. It's a funny type of girl. It's like
festival
a
lady.
Rave kind of bitch. So I wouldn't use that language I'm quoting here.
Not me, never. Proper man.
I was just reading it off this page. Yeah, Boggin Deep is up next. Which, again, that's...
Boggin Deep?
Boggin Deep.
Boggin? Like apostrophe N or boggin?
Boggin with an apostrophe G.
Boggin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Boggin.
What do you know? Do you know much about boggin?
Isn't that just like driving vehicles through really deep water and mud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I am aware of it. Yep.
There is a bog I've been following on my Facebook group. I don't know how it was just like on there. I must have joined it years ago and just forgot. I was just like going through all my stuff.
Yeah.
And oh my god,
cleaning.
Side story, there's someone who's like, I'm looking for an organized manager who I can delegate tasks to. They keep advertising this job position in this bogging chat. Everybody's like, shut up. It's like a Mother's Day bog and there's like a Father's Day bog. And like someone just keeps advertising about some stupid thing that nobody wants. But
yeah, they're trying to like, they took suit and tie the whole.
Dude,
and bogging is not a suit and tie event.
You start a community chat and you don't have a good moderator, it gets off the rails.
Those are my favorite. I don't like rails.
But there's a bog. So remember Cooper used to come over here. He always used to tell me about how fun bogs were. Because all the guys just get together with their big trucks and their beer and just play music and go bogging, dude.
Yeah.
They're bogging deep.
Bogging deep.
So it's like, I kind of want to go. There's one coming up. I can check my phone. It's in a few months. It's like an hour north of here, I think. My truck is not by any means a bogging truck.
No, you gotta get a snorkel on that bad Larry.
And it could probably do okay with the winter tires on it because it is 4-wheel drive and relatively lightweight, but I don't think I want to do too much bogging in this truck because it's already half rusted away to nothing. And you don't want to get rust wet. It absorbs it and it makes more rust. Yeah.
I mean, if you get enough mud on there, it could potentially act like Bondo.
I was thinking that.
Might fix it.
That's true. You get a coating built up there.
Paper mache type deal going on there. I don't know. Clay hut deal. Just spit on it. And
I spent the last 2 days under painting it with black tar.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it was nice out. It was like 50 degrees.
Did nice tar coat. I'll keep it.
It's so rusty. I don't know if I'm ever going to get inspected.
That's bound to happen in this area. They just use way too much road salt. It snowed like a half an inch, and I swear every VTrans vehicle, Vermont transportation, yada yada, everywhere else it's DOT, Department of Transportation.
Oh, I'm going to take a quick break for the banyo. I'm also going to sync this audio.
Oh, okay. Banyo it up. I also banyo break.
He's back.
Gotta be back.
You are.
Stole some water from this flamingo. Let's flamingo. This is comedy gold right here.
Let's flamingo. Yeah, you know me, I'm down to flamingo anytime.
I found this in your cupboard. It also appears to be lipstick stained. Unrevocably lipstick stained.
Yeah. Is that a double cup or a single cup?
This is a single cup?
Dude, my shirt smells bad. They both do.
Do you wash them? Get that shit with Febreze, my guy.
I need to wash them again.
Smell like hand sanitizer. You ever been swindled with a hand sanitizer? Sometimes people put sanitizer in their soap dispensers and vice versa. It's terrible. You get your hands, you get the pre-wet, the pre-soak for the soap, and then it's just straight alcohol, and you're like, what is this mess?
Some people drink those.
Huh?
Bad alcoholics.
Oh, yeah. I heard there's, up in Alaska in certain parts, they'll get their hands on hairspray.
Alaska's the worst, dude. They banned alcohol, they just huff gas.
Oh, yeah. They just invent ways to get fucked up.
America's like, we'll give you $2,000 if you move here, please.
But you can't.
Everybody's like, get me out of here. I'm just going to huff gas until I die. This sucks.
Sorry, Alaska, about your luck.
I mean, it used to be like Russia, kind of, I think. I think Russia definitely wanted. Yeah, it was I think it was like the Louisiana Purchase where they just got a bunch of land for no money. And then everybody's like, oh, wait, that's...
There's a reason for no money, right? You get what you pay for.
I mean, the territory, yeah, it's just like... I mean, it's beautiful up there. But Maine is also...
Maine's expensive.
The coast where the people are, but like inland, there's nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
Maine is... I was watching a video on it yesterday. Maine is the whitest state, which I already knew.
It's cold up there. Yeah. Nobody with natural melanin and is used to sun. That is like that's why you have the extra melanin is to deal with intense rays. You don't go to cold places because there's less sun.
So I wrote down drinking stories.
Oh boy.
Which I can't really think of any at the moment.
No.
I've got one, sort of.
Yeah.
There was a fraternity called Tridel up in Burlington. It was like 3 triangles.
Okay, makes sense.
And they got shut down for like selling coke, I think. They're not a fraternity anymore.
Yeah, that sounds like a frat house, yeah.
But I went to a party there once that was in the basement. And you know those like stereotypical parties that you see in like movies where it's just packed wall to wall and just like a real party.
Yeah, I don't do those. And if I do, I always find the room that's not occupied and chill.
That was the only one I've been to that was like that, and I really enjoyed it too. I was a kid at the time, a young buck. Didn't have any. I mean, I still don't have any confidence, but I had even less then. But I had a great time. They had
because you consumed alcohol.
I did.
Yeah, liquid courage.
They had flip cup.
Yeah.
They had beer pong, flip cup, and then they had a couch where they're doing apple pie shots. I'm surprised I was this open-minded back then, because I've always been pretty close-minded about like trying. Well, I've been picky, you know. And then, but I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. And even though it didn't sound good at all, like apple pie shot, no thanks, that sounds gross. I'll just top some beer or whatever. But I was like, let's try it, and it was good. It was like a shot. So what you do is you get on the couch, you lean your head back, and they were behind you, and one person would like pour the liquor in, and the other person would like shoot in whipped cream or something. I don't even know what the combo was. But there was like a 2-step shooting being processed from the people behind the couch. And it was good. Tasted like apple pie. Got you a little bit drunk. I was like, wow. See, I shouldn't have judged it so harshly. It was great.
Yeah.
It was fun. They knew how to have a good time. That's when I discovered how much more fun flip cup is than beer pong.
Yeah, flip cup is
and I never got
there's skill involved.
Dude.
More skill, I think, than just throwing a ping pong ball.
And it's great because it involves everybody.
Yes.
That wants to be involved. Like beer pong.
It's like a relay race.
You've got two people taking to forever to play this game. Yeah, it's like a relay race. And then you've got this big list of people waiting. Just waiting. Well, beer pong, flip cup, everybody's like, ah. Yeah. It's so funny, though, because, like, you drink it, you flip it. The next person, they drink it, they flip it. The next person, they drink it. And there's this one guy.
I can't flip it.
He sets it down over and over and keeps flipping it, not doing it every time over and over, just forever. And everyone's like, ah. And the other one's, like, getting closer and going by. They're like, ah.
About to laugh us. Come on, Jimmy. So flip it.
It's like, it's so easy to do, to flip the cup over, but then, like, pressure of the situation. It's so fun, dude.
Yeah.
It is. And I think that's, like, the only time I played that. I think I only played it once or twice, and that party, I wish I'd done it more. I wish that had been more popular than beer pong.
Yeah, there was absolutely too much alcohol drinking going on. In the 1 year I went to college, that's why I only went for 1 year. I was like, I cannot hang. This is too much all the time. Wow. And, like, I didn't see myself as, like, a very popular person. But even, like, the small group of people that I knew, there was always somebody asking me to go out every night. And I just, like, couldn't say no. I'm like, oh, friends?
Oh, I know. It's hard to say no.
It is. But those days are behind me.
Yeah.
No longer an alcoholic. No longer even, like, remotely a drinker. I think, like, everybody gets that way eventually in their life.
Pretty much. Everybody, I noticed that. Like,
in your 30s, like, you just get hungover smelling alcohol, and you're like,
yeah, it's true.
Not today.
Yeah. Some people, I'm lucky that I can't drink very much, or else I would definitely be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know, some guy was saying that back in history, in the olden times, because these days people are like an alcoholic, and they're like, but they're fine. I don't know. But they were like, because so this is how the story goes that I heard. 100 years ago or whatever, there was no such thing as an alcoholic. There was a wino. Mm-hmm. If you were, like, on the street, like, laying on the ground, like, asking people for money, you were a wino. But as long as you went to work and, like, you took care of your family, people, like, you can get as drunk as you want. And you didn't have a problem.
Right.
This is like the,
And that's it's still kind of that mentality. Alcohol is abundant everywhere. It's at convenience stores. It's not hard to get your hands on, but it'll fuck you up. More so than, like, some illicit drugs.
Yeah, well, what it does is it drains your health, which you don't realize when you're young and healthy. You don't really feel the health tax, but it really drains the nutrients out of you.
Oh, yeah, it's poison. You're literally poisoning yourself every time you drink.
It's literally.
They actually just changed. They used to say, a glass of wine is good for you or whatever. But they said no amount of alcohol now.
I heard a smart guy say similar things. So there's no amount of alcohol that's good for you in terms of what it physically does to your body with the nutrient depletion and stuff. Mm-hmm. But the stress reduction a small amount can give you the health benefits of that can outweigh the nutrient depletion.
I see your alcohol and raise you marijuana.
Yeah, marijuana is not good for getting rowdy with the lads.
No, it's definitely, that's more for, like, hanging out and listening to Radiohead or something.
Yeah, or doing physical labor.
Yeah, there's a lot of burners.
If you're mowing lawns all day.
Oh, yeah, mundane work that's, like, tedious, and you're just like, why am I doing this? You all of a sudden are just, like, in the zone. Cleaning. Stoner cleaning is a Zen art form.
Oh, dude, I guess when I just lay down. I'm not trying to.
No, you gotta fight that urge.
If I drink
past that and really get into cleaning mode and start putting stuff, it's like
I did that
doing a cleaning puzzle.
I just have to drink enough caffeine. I had like 20 black teas. I'm back to my old days, dude. I remember I can just drink black tea all day. And I feel so good. And if I don't, I'm like laying, I have no energy.
That's me and coffee. Yeah.
I can't drink, but I'll have one cup of coffee in the morning, and then I switch to black tea. I'll feel better and have better energy if I do that. There's something harsh about coffee where if I have more, it like dries my throat.
Oh yeah, it's not that great for you. I'm well aware of it. I've been trying to cut back, but it's just like so ingrained. Like my mom let me have coffee, I think, when I was like 12.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm already hyper. Like, ugh. Bad news bears.
There's the health guy that I like the most. He says that a cup or two a day is good for you, but more than that, you should probably try to not have too much more than that.
No, yeah.
But the thing he says, what caffeine does, whether in coffee or tea or whatever, is it decouples mitochondria from your cells and makes you live longer. So a little bit of caffeine here and there is good. It's good for the old mitochondria.
Oh yeah, powerhouse, right?
Oh yeah, powers the cell. Everybody knows that they're a different DNA than your body.
Yes.
Your body took little creatures that were in the wild and just built around them. We're like mechas of our mitochondria mechas.
It's amazing.
Biological. They're like gears. Yeah, there's the videos where like they zoom in a million times on cells and you can see like little gears and like things crawling along them, like ratcheting stuff. It's like, come on, it's insane. Oh man, one time when I was young and my body had no negative health impacts from alcohol, I remember going to a party with my friend in New Jersey and getting too drunk. They had to which wasn't fun for me. Like after I'm drunk, then I get too drunk after that. I don't feel any more fun or better. It was just a mistake. I was like, oh, drank too much.
Well, it wouldn't be too drunk. If you felt better, you're like, oh, this is just more drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Too drunk.
Exactly. But I remember they helped carry me to the car, so I wasn't blacked out. But the next morning I woke up, I was still drunk.
Oh, that's the worst.
I liked it.
You liked it?
I wasn't even hungover at all.
I don't like not expecting something and then it being there.
It was like a pleasant surprise. Like, I'm sure some days would have been bad like that, but I woke up, I went downstairs to watch TV and drink some coffee. I was like, oh, I feel good. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so good.
There's only one time in memory where I would say, too much. There's some days where I didn't feel so great the next day, but it was whatever. But I was young. I think I was like 20. I don't think I was quite legal age. And my cousin and I decided, let's see how fast we can finish this bottle of rum. Which is never a good idea. You pace, not race, when it comes to liquor. But yeah, I had the spins. I was yakking. I woke up his whole family. I think my mom was there too. So like my mom, my aunt, my uncle, they just like all gave me this look of disgust the next morning. They're like, can't believe you kids.
Unbelievable.
Like, yeah, whatever.
You're a disappointing little child.
Oh, I know. I wasn't even a little child. I was like 19, 20. Like, give me a break.
Dude, another...
It was stupid, though. It was entirely stupid.
It would be stupid if you did that 10 times and then kept doing it after that.
Yeah, that's true. It was experimentation, not stupidity. Experimentation. There's a difference.
So, have you seen the video, Why Are You Running?
Yes. Why are you running?
Why are you running?
I love it. Love it.
It's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one that goes along with that one, too. But
that came out of, what was that? Kenya? There's like a little... I don't know, like, it's almost like daytime soaps somewhere in Africa, and they're just off the wall all the time. They make no sense. It's poor quality, but that's what makes it funny.
Have you seen that? There's like these Africans that tried to build an airplane and just like never worked, just like way too heavy and janky. It reminds me of those soap operas for some reason. They just don't know their shit together. Those poor Africans, dude. They got potential.
Following that is the... Oh my God! Wow! Same thing. It's like this little niche of African television where it's just really bad acting.
Oh god, have you seen the news reporter one where they're like, what are you being?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I gotta show you that one.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if you like the Why Are You Running, dude, you won't believe it. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. Because, like, oh my god.
Meme culture.
So good.
It's great. That's the only reason I'm on social media anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Strictly for the memes.
I was developing them. I made a meme site. It's, like, been on the back burner for a while. If I get my shit together, I'll get it back going. Oh my god, I've got some terrible things written down here. Look at the fourth from the bottom. I don't even want to say that. It's so bad.
Fourth from the bottom.
You don't remember that?
No. Was that both at the same time or just one?
One. Remember the kids were so mean? Because their face was like red.
No. We need to address this.
Dude, the kids. Unbelievable. So yeah, there's the twins in our school. And one of them was like a little prettier than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we not name dropping?
I'm not going to name them.
Okay, yeah, this isn't a poor light. Let's not name them. But okay, they know who they are. If they watch this, they're going to be like, you asshole!
Dude, it was like pretty on the money, but still terrible. Like, so yeah, we had these twins in our school. And like, one of them just kind of had like a red face. Compared to the other one. Like, I don't know if it was a makeup thing. Then the kids were calling her like aborted fetus.
Oh wow! I was ignorant to that. Like I was unaware.
Faces are red.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible to say.
It was bad. Yeah, we shouldn't say that.
Oh, you did now. Whoops.
And then what was the other one? Sand. There was the junk box. I don't even remember the junk box.
No.
It's a box you put your junk in. This was from Brian Farrell. He came up with funny things. I think he came up with the sand in your vagina too. Someone was upset. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing that for a lot of my life. I think I heard that in middle school, and I was in a different school, so I don't know if he came up with it, but he definitely sold it. It was kind of his thing.
Yeah, he was a fun kid.
He was. Funny guy. Should get him on here.
I wonder where he's at these days.
I think he's up north, maybe?
Check out the
We're buddies on the Book of Faces.
Oh, nice.
Which really doesn't mean anything. It's like, hey, I know you. Okay, we're friends now.
Check out how nice this cable is.
That is a thick cable. That's how you know it's good. If it's thick.
Dude, it's girthy.
It is.
It's a girthy
Ain't
cable.
nothing breaking that. Except for maybe a mouse if it chewed on it.
Yep, I was looking at dog-proof hoses because the dog keeps chewing those. Man, I feel like I'm being very boring, but that's fine. We'll get a builder. Indian Jones.
Indian, as opposed to Indiana?
Yes, this is a comedy riff I came up with my gamer friends. So you know how in Indiana Jones, I've never actually seen it, but he goes around the world to like temples and steals like jewels and things.
Yes, yeah.
So our idea for Indian Jones is you have an Indian guy. Because, like, you know how England and, like, Europe, they've got these museums with all the stuff from around the world that they basically just, like, stole during wars?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, this is pretty sweet. We're going to keep this and show it to people.
I don't know if it was stolen or purchased. Maybe.
I mean, a lot of it's not even really traceable, like, it's on people's word, you know? Like, oh, yeah, I found this.
Oh, I found this.
But there's definitely a lot of, like, valuable artifacts.
It's somebody's fault.
that I'm sure people would like returned to their countries.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so anyway, this is making I've got pages of actually comedy ideas I can look up next time that I've for stand-up comedy that you can help me. Actually, I might be able to look them up on here. But our idea for Indian Jones was he goes through the museums.
Mm-hmm.
He finds the artifacts, and then he has to try to trace where they came from. Do these people even still exist? Is this culture even still around? And do they want their stuff back? And like brings it back to them.
Indian giving.
Oh, is that? Yeah, I think somebody else might have mentioned that. Yeah, it sort of works. Like,
It's kind of a little bit of a racial slur, but yeah,
No.
That's what we called it growing up. Is you would call somebody an Indian giver if they gave you something and then asked for it back.
Oh, I've done that. Dude, I did that to a kid, and then he stole a wireless Xbox controller from me, and like $60. I think he was mad.
Oof. You think he was mad?
He's like, "Can I stay at your house for like a week or two?" I don't know. I was like, "Yeah."
Do I know this person?
I don't know if you do. I don't think so. I don't even remember his name right
now. No. It sounds like somebody we both know.
Probably. What was I can't remember, but so this is. I do have a funny comedy sketch. I do have a funny idea here that we can do.
Cracker Jacks.
Real quick. Well, so yeah, I was in the store. They had Cracker Jill candy.
Why?
Because I think they're like, it's always been. First of all, that's just hilarious that they have like this thing. First, it's hilarious that they have a well-established brand named Cracker Jack, and then all of a sudden it's like super woke years, and they're like, "Shit, Cracker Jack, that's not good. We're gonna have to do something about that." They're like, "We'll get a nice colored lady to contrast with this terrible white slurp snack." That's my idea.
Is that
where else would it have come? Dude, I was waiting in line to check out, and I look over. There's like a medium tan skin woman like Cracker Jill. I'm like, dude, like, I just like this is
a brown.
Dude, we're getting too. Dude, this political correctness is getting insane.
Oh, it's getting ridiculous.
They're like, Cracker Jacks ain't right.
It's like you can't have anything nice because somebody's going to be offended by it.
That is so funny though that there's just like a company that owned Cracker Jacks, and one day they're like, well,
it's time.
You're going to have to do something.
We've been Cracker Jacks for 60 plus years. Time to throw Jill in there.
They should just own it. I mean, they should have like country, like a banjo player. Come on down to Cracker Jacks. Cajun seasoning. There's nothing wrong with it. I used to know the origin of Cracker. Oh, Cracker came from
cracking a whip.
So no, I think it came from the Irish immigrants. It was a culture. Anyway, I don't know it, but I do know honky. Honky's from honky tonk, which is an onomatopoeia of country music sound.
Yeah.
So it's not even an insult. It's just like you like country music. I mean, I guess that can be an insult, but it's not really.
Oh, country music is an insult to my ears. We won't go there though. If you enjoy it, that's fine. I don't.
So there was. This is there's definitely potential here to iron out into a stand-up comedy bit or like whatever. Putting down rough drafts of comedy is like, I mean, I know there's potential there, whether you want to flesh it out in podcast form or stand-up form or whatever.
This seems weird. We're doing a podcast talking about what we might do for a podcast.
It's very meta.
We're very unpolished right now, I feel. It's okay.
Well, I mean, there's two types of people. There's people who never think about what they're saying, and it's just brain to mouth go.
Your mom.
Right, and your mom. And then there's...
and my mom. Our mothers.
And then there's people who think too much, and they overthink everything, and they're living inside their head.
Oh, that was me for most of my life.
Yeah, that's like me for most of my life.
Okay.
And then in the middle, there's a beautiful balance.
Do you think it's because of our mothers?
No.
Because you had to listen to nonsense all the time, you just started introverting?
I must make my own world.
Exactly.
This doesn't exist.
Substitute my own reality.
Dude,
get out of here.
I was wearing my noise-canceling headphones this morning, and I walked. My mom just like immediately talking at me with like a story that like I wanted to drop off split peas and leave, but it's like now she's got me in a story. It's like, but I left, dude. You have to start leaving in the middle of the story. A lot of people don't have the cojones.
So that sounds like
it's like neighbor. I love you. I know you're talking to me. I'm going right now.
That's my neighbor, but there's no like motherly attachment there, so I'm just like, I literally have closed the door.
I have to go,
and she keeps talking through the door.
I know, and she'll. It's like that's oh god. I know that's. I was telling her. I asked her a few times to stop doing that, and she's gotten better at it. But it's just like she doesn't have. I guess her mom raised her in a way where like yelling across the house to talk was normal. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, if you want to talk to me, come over to me.
Right.
I'm not yelling back through doors across the house. But it's like, dude.
Yeah, I'll come back now. You hear?
Mm-hmm. So, that was such a that had no spirit in it. What did they call it? Flavor. Got some flavor on that.
Flavor?
Yeah, you got some flavor in that speech.
Sprinkle it.
In the South,
Season it.
they got. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, boy! I got some flavor down there, boy.
My favorite is like Creole, like real down south, like straight out of the bog, like
straight out of the bog. Dude. Me too. They're so funny. Dude, there's people down there that live with no electricity on house stilts, and they just fish and get all their food through fish.
Down the bayou.
It's a whole. It's awesome. No, the people, when I was watching my tours of the United States and all the different cities and states, that area was the poorest and also the friendliest people that I saw of anywhere in the country. Louisiana and what is it next to Illinois on the right?
Something like that.
Louisiana and the next state to the right.
I'm terrible at
that area.
Don't ask me.
It was the poorest and the friendliest people I'd ever seen. It's like I want to go. I want to live there.
There you go.
Because it's like when there's poor, when you live in a poor area, stuff is cheap. It's like food's cheap, electricity's cheap.
But you have to have continuity. You can go down there with money.
Oh, that's true.
Keep coming.
Yeah, because the jobs won't pay. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Yeah, you'd have to have like a remote job or something, but.
But that's fine. Just travel. I mean, we're used to it up here. This is the thing that people don't get, like, especially, I stole my fiance from Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And, it was just culture shock for a while for her. She was like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's just down the road, half hour. And like next door is like 10 minutes away. It's a whole different lifestyle.
She's a city girl.
Oh yeah, she used to get angry if anything took over like 10 minutes to get from point A to point B.
Oh, that's the minimum.
But they also had a lot of traffic, so like that's the thing. If I'm going to be driving for 45 minutes, I want to cover at least 30 miles. That's reasonable. Not down there. If you get caught in interstate traffic, it was like 5 o'clock traffic, you are literally like sitting in place for a half hour. It will take you damn near an hour to drive 10 miles.
You ain't going nowhere down there too fast now, there, boy. Down there 10 miles.
What is that?
So I bought a sauna.
You bought a sauna?
It's right there. It's a little tent.
Oh, that's what that is.
And it came with these like hoses.
I thought that was a shanty for ice fishing.
It's one of those Chinese things where it's like, yeah. Oh, hello, artificial fish. No, I can't do it.
Artificial?
Oh, it's a very nice fish. In the winter, they're slow under the ice.
You got a koi?
Oh, you let me come over. I make a very good fish.
So what is this tubing for? It's a part of that, but what does it do?
It came with like this stupid little water boiler for making steam for the sauna.
What? Now I'm in Asian mode. This is clearly a weapon.
Remember Devil Sticks?
Yeah. That was the thing where you had like it was almost like 2 drumsticks and the yo-yo looking thing. And
dude,
you beat them.
What a sales spin that guy pulled. I'm going to sell these kids 3 sticks for $60.
Yeah.
Some stuff wrapped on the ends.
That's right.
Dude, that's genius marketing. Yeah, that's absolutely genius marketing. one was good at them. It's so hard to be good with. You just watch videos of people being good at them, and they're so cool, and you're like, yeah,
right. Look at you did a triple flip. Whoa.
Dude, it was the extreme era, the attitude era, the extreme sports era.
A flamingo.
The funny thing about that era is like hip hop happened and it just ended it. Sort of.
Hip hop ended what?
So, anyway, there was like a boiler. I'll just finish the steam thing. It came with a little boiler pot, and then a lid, and then it came with these hoses.
Yes.
And a little steaming end.
Okay.
So you're supposed to plug this into the boiler pot, and then the other end into the steamer end. But the thing is, it's not big enough to let enough steam through to ever warm it up in the thing. So you just take the lid off and you let the boiler go, and all the steam comes out and it warms up and it works. But like I think because there's like a hole in the side of it, I think you're supposed to. I think they're not legally allowed to sell it with the purpose of having the electric boiler inside of it. And I don't know. It's stupid. I don't want
shenanigans.
It was jank. I made it work. I've got extra parts now. That's the end of the story.
Long story short.
Yeah, dude. All my stories end up way too long now. William Shakespeare once said brevity is the soul of wit. But, what were we talking about?
Keep it short.
Before what did I interrupt with the steamer thing?
Oh,
Devil sticks?
Devil sticks, yep.
The culture change.
Yeah. Okay,
so,
hip-hop stopped what?
Stopped radical, gnarly, shredding white dudes.
It was shredding as in guitar playing?
The whole thing.
No, it still continues.
It went under. It went under.
Yeah.
It was the main thing.
Yeah, it's not the main thing anymore.
I was watching the skateboard channel on YouTube, and it's like being a punk. Like I used to like punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, dude, I see these people now, like these, with like the skateboarder hair, like grungy, like bad kept hair, just like dyed weird colors and like raggedy clothes. They just look ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're just wearing ugly clothes.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Like it used to be cool,
right?
And then hip hop happened, and now they're just like, eh.
Well, it's like a revival too. There's also this disdain, I think, inherently from people our age because we actually went through it when that started happening. Like dyed hair and piercings were starting to become more prevalent, and now it's like, ugh, and like it was so bizarre. I remember my first encounter with this is like this '90s resurgence was at a hip hop concert.
There you go.
It was down in Massachusetts. I think it was either Boston or one of the outlying towns. No, it was Boston. And there was a kid that looked exactly like fucking Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. Middle part, bleach blonde hair, bright like windbreaker jacket. I'm like, to the T, it was Zach Morris from Saved by. I'm like, what the fuck? But he was like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is happening right now? Like, this is, that was popular when I was like in middle school. It's so bizarre to see little kids like trying to own it too. It's like, you can't claim that. You didn't do that.
Yeah, it's weird, like, choosing a cultural identity as a kid. There's a lot of pressure.
I made a lot of poor choices. I had extremely baggy jeans for a while in middle school. Like, Jinkos.
Yeah, nice. Dude,
where you could
sweet.
Fit the 2-liter in your back pocket. It's ridiculous.
Mr. Haynes, who walked by a kid wearing this one time, and he looked down and goes, you could fit a cat under there. I'll never forget that. It was true though. Like the jean was over his whole boot, like size.
Yeah, they got out of control. I'll have to bring in a picture of it. I've got one where I'm like sitting in a tree and the leg of the pants is just draped so far that it's like,
dude, Jinko jeans.
What was I doing?
I had something else, but Bop It.
Oh yeah, Bop It was big.
Jinko jeans, Bop It.
Twist it. Pull it.
Oh my god.
That little
that was
yell
fun.
when you messed up.
Oh man, I had something else. I forgot. Oh well. It was just the culture back then was so funny.
Nickelodeon Gak. Did you have Gak?
No.
It was like kind of like this slimy, putty type deal.
Oh no, I did. I would make it fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the best.
Yeah. Pogs?
Pogs, yeah, that's a very good. Yes, that's one of them for sure.
Pogs.
Dude, the slammers.
Holographic slammer. You got him. I'm looking for him.
Oh shit, look out for this guy.
I had a lot of them. I used to, I don't know if it was a thing with everybody, but like, I remember getting medicine tubes or like containers from my great grandmother because they were large pills, so it was a large diameter and it was perfect for Pogs. So it was constantly grams. Don't throw that out. Give that to me. I need it for my Pogs.
Dude, Pogs was awesome. There's the Skip It. I feel like it's semi-related, but just
yeah. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the Skip It.
No, that was more of a girl thing, probably. Mm-hmm. Plus, it was easier just to count it yourself, probably.
Yeah. True story.
It didn't always work, so it was like, it wasn't rolling on the ground all the way around. It was like bashing around.
Yeah.
Off the pavement.
Yeah. You weren't skipping it, you were whipping it.
Yeah, voodoo boards, though. Those are sweet. I still have one in the garage. I kind of want to do a podcast.
Those are great for core strength and balance.
So good. And they're so fun. I want to incorporate it on the podcast sometime.
There are people that can, like, kickflip those.
Damn.
Catch it. What?
So I was talking about this with my friends the other day, like names, like, you know, when you have a game or like your online account, you choose your own name, but when you're born, you don't get to choose your own name.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Like, I know, right? Wouldn't it be cool if you could pick your name? But it's also funny thinking about how different names have a feeling. Like I was talking to my friend online, his name's Felix, but people say that like he would make a good Mark. I was like, oh yeah, totally. I could hear it in your voice. You would make a great Mark. Yeah, Felix is terrible. Who wants to be Felix? Come on.
I wouldn't mind it. I think of
you
Felix
kind of feel like that's what all I can think of is Felix the cat.
Like a little cartoonish.
But can you think it? But it's just funny. Like, can you imagine being like a Chad
or like a Carter? I had this talk with my friend Andrew the other day. There's like this little a clip of a kid that's mountain biking, and he's like, "You can do it, Carter." And he like hesitates on the first go, and he's like, "I don't think I can do it." Which don't let the kid do it if he's hesitating and says he can't do it
for sure.
But there's like this drop off, and so the kid goes back. He's like, "You got this, Carter." And I'm thinking to myself, this kid is born to not do this. I was like, this kid is gonna wreck no matter what. His name's Carter. Like, his mom is some sort of preppy woman that wears like a pink polo and a pleated skirt and doesn't let her baby boy do anything. And he's gonna go hit a jump, catch some air. And he definitely face planted, by the way.
He's a... Of course, his name was Carter.
Of course.
But I feel like all names should be earned by nickname, right?
Earned by nickname.
Yeah.
Like it has to be like of your essence. People nickname you.
Yeah, something you do a lot, then you get named that. Like my dog doesn't stop smelling everything, so I call him Smeller.
Smeller? Old Smeller?
Exactly. You got it. Yeah, that's what I do. Smeller and
Should we try this on each other right now?
Oh god. I don't know. But
that's a no. Immediate change of something.
Well, you have to be doing something that like makes it happen.
Okay. It can't be forced. It's gotta be natural. That makes sense.
But it's just funny, I don't know. Dave, like, I don't know, imagine being a Dave or an Alexander.
Ugh.
I know. Like, I feel like you should get to choose because it's such a weight. Like, I I could.
I mean, you can later if you feel strongly enough about it. You can get it legally changed.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you want to? Want to hear my comedy riff idea?
Oh, you already have a nickname. You're Killer Beyond.
That's right.
Killer Beyond. How did that come about? I just said it one day, and you were like, "How did you know that was my middle name?" I was like, "What, Killer?" And you're like, "Oh, Beyond." I was like, "What?"
I think it's from Renfro, maybe.
I don't know.
He had a bunch of nicknames for me. Special K.
Special K.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
It is a good one.
It depends on what light, though, because I think sometimes special is like.
Yeah, but it's like pretty fitting. He kind of nailed it with that one. Dude, whenever we're playing mat ball, I would try so hard to kick the ball. It seemed so easy. I was like, here comes the kick ball. I'm just going to run up, dude. I'm going to kick that thing so hard. I'm going to hit the back wall. I'm going to get extra runs. I would just try too hard every time and just whiff it.
Can we just talk about Scott Renfro for a moment?
So, oh, he was like a pro wrestler.
Way too into it. Like, constant roid rage. Maybe he didn't do steroids, but
yeah,
he was a full-on jock that never grew out of it.
Yeah.
And tried way too hard. He drilled. Do you remember Jen Moore?
Yeah.
Tall, skinny,
very
quiet.
Yeah.
She got drilled in the face twice by Renfro within 10 minutes on a serve. Come on, dude.
On a serve?
On a serve. Like, he was like...
Wait, she was kicking?
No, volleyball. Drilled her in the face. He jumped. Bop! Hit her in the face. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then immediately did it again. We're like, well, you didn't... Just chill out, dude. This is not a competition. And of course, like, Renfro's like, everything's a competition.
Dude, he was fun. Definitely, probably my favorite gym teacher ever.
He was funny. He could get away with some things because he was funny, and he would make you laugh off the pain.
I mean, if he had never devastated Jen Moore's face, what can you fault him? I mean, he was pretty fun, right?
He playing mat ball. I'm pretty sure he made that up because he was good at kicking a ball.
Dude, every school has like a version of that game.
Really?
A special kickball.
Okay.
I think, I was watching I heard someone else talking about it. I think so.
Could be. I don't know. I just feel like he just tried way too hard all the time.
You just,
Personal perception.
I mean, back then, I was such a little nerdling that, like, I appreciated him for his fun jockness, which he had a good time doing, but I never really, like, I'm more able to appreciate it now. Just like back then, I wasn't as much of a Boggin Deep kind of guy. Dude, Boggin Deep is the best. Dude, Vermont is like, you don't realize it until you get older, but Vermont is like a depressing sort of culture vacuum where all the young, fun kids leave. And then, like, as the years go by, you hear tales from other lands of, like, this is what kids do when they're having fun and they're not depressed. And you're like, oh, shit, that does look fun. But that's, like, I don't know. Like, when I was in North Carolina, like, I went to one of the bars there. Like, I told you, I'd saved up my liver health for, like, a couple years, and I was able to drink a few drinks without being sick briefly for like a month or two before I used up all my liver savings that
liver savings,
dude.
That's what vacations are for. Savings, I guess.
It was great though because there's no bars anywhere around here that are anything like the one I went to there. It was like relatively close to a trailer park, but it was like a nice trailer park.
I've heard of nice trailers. I've seen nice trailers, but never a nice.
Because it was across the road from the beach. And the trailer park was, like, very clean. And they all had, like, nice vehicles. And there was, like, nice souped-up, like, golf carts they drive around in.
That's hilarious to me. There are people that have property on South Hill. They own a double wide on South Hill, which is amazing land. It's beautiful. It's expensive, but they plopped a double wide on there. But they also own Cadillacs. They spent all their money on their cars and just were like, house whatevs.
Yeah. Yeah, but when I was in that bar down there, it was like hanging out with your friends when you had no friends. It was just like fun people from around the area, men, women, old and young. The bar is in the shape of a U, so everybody sitting there can like talk and see each other. Like in New England, there's no bar I've ever been to in New England. Not that I've been to a lot of bars. It's never fun joking around with friends vibe, really. Like maybe some people that are there that are already friends.
Yeah, it seems a little bit more secluded.
Yeah.
Until everybody's drunk. Like
exactly.
Later.
Yeah, I had a friend who was like, maybe he had something slightly wrong with him mentally, but he would talk about the beaver, which he was referring to a female area, which I always thought was hilarious, how childish he was. Like,
the beef.
You talk about it, I forget what it used to be hilarious. I wish I remembered. You talk about like wanting a hairless beaver or something. It was so dumb. But anyway, down there in North Carolina, it was so cool because it was literally like friends, like everybody's just joking, laughing, and like it took a drink or two, to get talking. But then everybody was like, it was just like old friends that I'd never met before. It was so fun. It's like that's that Southern spirit where it's like you're bogging deep, you're having a drink with everybody's your friend, you're having a good time, you're by the beach. You don't have a lot of money in your house because that's not what makes a good life. What makes a good life is like nice weather, good friends.
Yeah.
And like
simple pleasures. They say simple strokes for simple folks.
That's what I need. You
need some simplicity.
Well, I'm a Southern boy at heart. I was raised up here in the wild Northeast.
Mm-hmm. Raised in the tundra, striving for the sunshine.
Dude, it's like the fucking Hobbit quest. It's like a life. What's it called? A pilgrimage.
Yes.
Dude, every young person that has the means and ability leaves New England.
That's very true.
At a certain age.
I don't know. I've tried it a couple times. It feels kind of. I like the seclusion now. I've peopled too much in my time. Retail will do that to you. You get burned out real quick on peoples.
Oh, yeah.
It's the wrong kind of peoples. It's always disgruntled customers.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I like the idea of people more than I like actual people. Yeah, maybe I've just been around the wrong people.
Dude, you've been around crusty, depressed people your whole life. There's places that have clean, vibrant, fun people that are like nice to be around. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I never forget that Virginia gas station I stopped at. It was like in Kill Bill. There's a part of the movie that's black and white, and you kind of forget it because it goes on for a few minutes. Then she presses a button on the soda machine. When the soda comes out, it turns to color. You're like, whoa! And you're so used to seeing black and white that the color is like so vibrant and nice. That's what it was like stopping at this gas station. Because I was talking about this with my physical therapist, but I'm going to try to talk so fast because that was part of the problem in the last podcast. But in New England, for whatever reason, like not only are things more gray and dreary, like emotionally, but just physically appearance-wise too. And part of it is like, I figured out is like when the winter happens, when winter's over, there's like a dust that settles over all the ground. It gets dirty. Like winter's dirty. When winter's over,
yeah, the white. If you don't have snow, it's extremely disgusting. That's why like stick season is such a time.
So I realized that like when you go south enough where they don't get snow every year, everything stays way cleaner. Because I don't know why, but like when winter's gone, there's a layer of dust and dirt it leaves that wasn't there before the winter.
It's extremely dry.
And you have to sweep it all up or else everything. But it sticks to all the sides of the houses. It sticks to the vehicles. It sticks to the ground. And like a lot of people just don't have the time and money or whatever, don't feel like cleaning it up. We can finish up soon.
No, that was a work text and I'm ignoring it.
But like, dude, I got out of that gas station and it was just like warm, sunny, colorful, clean. People had like nicer clothes on than Vermont. I was picking my mom up at a restaurant the other day, and so I was watching people go in and out of the restaurant for a while. And I noticed just a trend in their clothing. Nobody has very vibrant clothing in Vermont. It's very gray or earthy. There's not a lot of colors going on.
I enjoy those. I enjoy earthy colors.
You've got Stockholm syndrome.
Not everybody needs to taste the rainbow, James.
But
I've been conditioned.
But no, that's what it was like. So it's like it was sunny and warm, right? Because I left because it was getting cold here.
Mm-hmm.
And it went from a long summer to like there was like a cold snap and it started to be wintry. I was like, I'm getting out of here. So I hopped in my steed. I went down there.
Hopped in your steed.
Dude, when I got there.
Mechanical steed.
It was so nice. And like all the cars aren't rusted. Like you'll see cars 20, 30 years old that still look good.
Yeah, because no salt.
Dude, I'm telling you, the roads are straight and flat and smooth with a higher speed limit. It's like heaven to me.
Yeah, no frosting.
So nice.
This is rough terrain.
It
ain't for the weak of heart. No, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's...
Find out if you're a man up here.
Oh my god, dude. Or you get addicted to opiates and alcohol and cigarettes.
Well, I mean, that's because they don't really
have no teeth.
Have anything for kids, and it starts in your teens. Like, if you live, like, up in the Burlington area, it's a different story.
For sure.
In the southern Vermont, there's, like, we had, like, music scenes. Like, there was a lot of kids that were going to, like, shows like the Chester Underground.
Yeah.
American Pie had, what was that, Rampage?
That was cool, yeah.
Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff for some reason, like, they just don't care anymore. And it's so evident by, like, the overdoses. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's just, like, an epidemic.
I mean, Vermont has had that problem for at least 50 years. Where the young people just leave because it sucks, and it's just like all these old people like slowly getting sick and dying with nobody to take care of them, and there's no fun happening because it's just like all the young people leave or get addicted to drugs. And
there is a lot of that, yeah.
It's just unfortunate, and it's like it's hard to be. There's not a lot of community spots where you can like meet people and have fun together.
Yeah,
everything's very isolated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like you're in your house, then you get in your car, and I don't know. There's no community spots anymore, like the Rampage and stuff, because it's hard. Because it costs money. You have to drive to the next town if there is even one. You have to own a car, then you have to drive for like a significant distance. Even if there is a place to hang out with friends, which there isn't.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. I don't know that it sucks. I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy the serenity of aloneness. I share my space with a few select people, and I'd get lost in the woods any day of the week and feel just fine.
Well, one day when I'm 87 years old and I'm down on the ranch with the hogs,
we'll be cranking.
Bogging deep, dude.
Bogging deep.
I tell you, I'll have you over. And I'll try to wrangle you out of this withering, dark wilderness up here. Before you get hooked on the old.
Such a bleak outlook.
I understand.
Life is what you make it.
Yeah, that's why you get the folk out of Dodge, boy.
Fair. I won't say you're right. I won't say you're wrong.
Dude, if you drive through Springfield, just the people you see, none of them look good. They all look like they have
to some odd folk. Let's be honest. Springfield is like
everybody you see has a problem. It's bad.
I feel like that's everywhere though. You could pick a.
Well, if you go to Ludlow, it's the opposite. Yeah, it's true.
It's like it's everywhere. The grass is always greener on the other side. I've been down to Texas. I've driven down the entire East Coast day to day in every state. It's different. There's definitely different cultures. I'm not really a fan of anything below the Bible Belt.
Where is that?
Or at the Bible Belt.
South Carolina, is that where that starts? Yeah, the Mason-Dixon line?
Yeah, around there.
They say North Carolina is the most south you can go without being in the south.
Yeah.
Which I would agree with. For the most
part.
Would
agree, yeah.
Even when I was in North Carolina, they're like, you're not from around here, are you, boy?
You ain't from around here, are you, boy? I bet you taste real nice.
Dude, it was so funny. There's this like grizzly old dude. He was like pretty round and had like a bit of a gray black beard. And he was there with some woman. They're like joking around, having fun at the bar with everybody. And he was telling some story or something. But then he forgot in the middle of his story that it was actually, oh wait, that was my last, like not wife or like whatever woman that I had. Now his new one was next to him. Then he was all like embarrassed. His whole face turned red. It was so funny. Because someone at the bar was like, "That was your last girl." He's like, "Oh my god, it was." And then he's sitting there right there. Got egg on his face.
That's how you know you go to the bar too much,
so
where everybody knows your life.
Yes.
You can't tell.
That's what made it so good, dude. It's so fun. Then I was there. I only was there for like 4 nights, and I was already part of like the bar culture because like they're like, "Dude, were you here?" They're talking about last night. There's some peeing offense that happened in the bathroom.
Being
like I just heard little like niblets of it here and there in the air. Like I wasn't quite sure what happened, and then I finally heard somebody say like, "It looks like they just tried to get everything on as many walls and surfaces as they could." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I felt so bad too because there's this guy that was like pretty normal. He had his shit together. There's like a woman or two outside, and they had like these e-bikes. And she was doing that thing. I don't know if you've seen this tweaker thing where they're like going through their stuff, like unpacking their bag and like going through all this. Like
tweakers are weird.
They just never. They look like they're going through their bag, but then they just never stop.
Right. That's what they do with everything.
And that's what I don't know if it was his wife or girlfriend or whatever. But I felt so bad for him because like people were laughing at her because you could see her outside the window. She's just being stupid. Going through her bag forever. People are like, "What is she doing?" And he's like, "Oh, that's just Cheryl out there, her
being silly.
My girlfriend. She's a little wacky." I was like, oh my god.
Tweaking is not a personality trait. Oh, there's something wrong.
I felt so bad for him. But what are you gonna do?
Laugh, I guess. Enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of good. It was kind of fortunate that people were so not used to that behavior that they legitimately didn't know what was happening. We're just laughing at this person being weird instead of feeling sorry for her. At least at first. But yeah, drugs are bad. They're ruining the country.
Okay.
Dude, how do you... You're so much sassier than me. I'm jealous, dude.
You gotta own it. You gotta be in that mind frame.
You do. And I told her, I said,
I've been knowing. She thinks she could tell me, but I've been knowing.
I'm so jealous, dude. Oh. Oh my god. I was there was
I need to flamingo a little bit.
Dude, you got a flamingo. I was I've got the large concept in my mind. It's hard to get out of my mouth.
Is this part of the print or is it actual like lipstick stage? This was clean. This was in a cover.
Lipstick. Dude, my mom was a lipstick,
What is she using? What is she using where you wash it and it's still there?
I'll take a bathroom break again in a second. Been drinking tea.
Drinking the dang tea?
Check this out. Whispering Wildflowers. That's like the commercials. I saw a meme where it was like normal commercials are like, "Hey, I've got this product and it costs this much," but then perfume is like, "Oh, the secret's." It's like mystical.
Sensual. It's like they're trying to lure you in by whispering in your ear.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Be right back. Go get my panties out of a neck.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read that in a sensual way later. There's so much going on that.
Yeah, I found out that one of the mottos for South Carolina is motorcycles, Marlboros, and Mountain Dew. And I was like, "Oh man, that sounds awesome! That sounds awesome! Like I totally understand." Like, that sounds fun.
Living the free life,
dude, for real. Like, yeah. Anyway, I was gonna start bashing on the Northeast more, but I think we've had enough of that.
It's fine. It's your kind. You can do that. It's okay. You can be racist towards your own race. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. No, people are just less fun in general. I think it's because their lives are harder. People have a harder life.
Could be.
And they're just not having a fun time.
You're not going to have a fun time.
Tony, I told you. I can't do that accent. It almost sounds like Philadelphia you're doing. So cities, I was learning about cities recently.
Mm-hmm.
You go down the... When you go down the East Coast, it's like a constellation of cities. Because people, growing up, you always think of like... When you look at this map, you're like, oh, there's all these states, there's all these different areas, these different people. Not really. It's more like these specific cities have these people and these cultures, and in between them is like not really much.
Right.
So it's like, oh, really? Every city is very unique culture and feeling, and that's where the differences really come from. It's not really state to state as much as city to city.
Right.
So when you go down the East Coast, you got basically New York City, Boston at the top. You go down like an hour or two, you got Philadelphia, which is a crazy city. Like I never.
Philly's pretty intense.
It's intense. I never really
walk about down there.
Growing up, I never really realized it was like a big deal. Like it's like a big deal city.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like because Fresh Prince was from. That's
West Philadelphia.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yes, exactly.
It's a crazy dude. I was looking at the map. It's got those houses that are like those tight, scrunched together, like row homes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they've got their own accent on there. They say water, and their O's are like.
I hate that. I hate that. I know somebody that says that, and I just had to stop being friends with them because I am in the wastewater and water operations field, and
yeah, it's kind of
the word water just comes up too much.
They actually sound a little bit water. The dog. That's kind of like we're. It's kind of weird. You can see the similarities between the New York Boston accent and also like the Midwest accent. Because the Cumberland Gap is a gap in the Appalachian Mountains, which shields. So when you're in New York City or in Philadelphia, if you want to go west to get through the mountains, you basically have to go through the Cumberland Gap. And so it's like pointing a culture gun of people moving across the country through a nozzle. They couldn't freely go anywhere across the country. So like. Anyway, long story short, the Midwest accent, there's kind of a straight line between Philadelphia and the Cumberland Gap in the mountains and then the Northwest accent. So I think they might have migrated up there and took a little bit of that accent with them. But then there's Baltimore, which is right down by Philly. Baltimore's crazy. It's pretty much the most crime city in the United States along with Chicago. That's where The Wire was based out of. So that's there. And that's like, so when you go that far south of New York City, like 2 or 3 hours, Baltimore, Philadelphia. It's like you don't get winters down there, really snow, but it's not really like warm. It's not like hot either. That's sort of where it starts to become bearable.
Maryland seems like the place to be, the way you're describing.
Oh, dude, the roads are terrible. I mean, it's just like, well,
the roads are terrible.
Actually, there's an effect that the ocean has on the temperature.
Yeah.
So Vermont does not get temperature mediation from the sea.
We get it from a lake effect.
So we get cold winters, whereas if you just go an hour or two south toward like Connecticut, Boston, it's like a whole different climate. And like the land goes from hilly to smooth, and it goes from cold winters to mild winters.
Right.
And it's like such a small distance away. And it's really because of the ocean, not because of the distance, but...
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed that. Growing up in Colchester, Burlington area, it's always like a little bit warmer near the bodies of water.
But then once you get down past Philly, Baltimore, then the next big cities that are really cultural are like D.C., it's down in Virginia, which that's like millions of people that have no vote in the presidency, which is crazy.
Yeah, just unspoken.
They just don't vote. You can't vote there. And then there's then you go a little bit west, and you've got. I've heard DC is actually pretty fun, like a pretty cool place. I haven't been there in
hard telling, not knowing
since I was a kid. Well, I was listening to comedians that travel, and they were saying of all the places they've been, that's one of the most fun, best places they've been. They say. Then if you go west from there, you've got like Nashville, Tennessee, which is the center of country music now, which I would love. I've heard it's like really good spirits there. And then you go a little bit south from there, you've got ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. And that's like a big, and that's like a big city with a lot of culture. And I've heard it can be dangerous, but also very fun there too.
Yeah.
And then then you go south and you've got Miami, Austin. That's about it for the East Coast for the most part. I mean, there's Houston, but Houston's bigger than Austin, but everybody...
They're like central, almost west. Like Texas definitely starts to be kind of west.
For sure. Yeah. No, my ideal, I think I could be happy. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd be happier in any... Well, I mean, it's... I don't want to say I hate Vermont.
Say it. Say you hate Vermont. It's fine.
Dude, I hate it so much that it's like it's so easy to be happier. Like it's so much easy. It's so easy to find a state where I'd be happier. The only ones that I think I wouldn't is like Delaware, Maryland. Like, I don't think so. Like New Jersey, sure. New York, like.
Ew. You'd rather be in Jersey?
Dude, they've got a lot of nature and country.
Where? It's literally like people nickname it the trash receptacle of the U.S.
Oh, dude, it's got one of the... I mean, if you want to look at the map, it's got one of the...
I've been in Jersey several times.
Oh, I've spent...
Susie's mom lives in Jersey. It's trash everywhere on the side.
No.
Yes. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Why do they all come to Vermont? Why do the people from New York, Massachusetts, and New Jersey all come to Vermont if it's so great where they live?
So,
you tell me, sir. Yonkers.
I mean, I've spent a lot of time in New Jersey, and the area I stayed in was nice. At least here, I'm gonna video this for the folks. Let me get a program going here so they can see our little tour.
Okay. Well, maybe there are parts, but I mean, the heartland of New Jersey is, for the most part, not appealing to me.
New Jersey is very diverse.
Like, I've only been, like, around 95.
So, if you look at the shape of New Jersey here, it goes like this, around here.
Yeah.
Most of it is actually empty and very green. There's a lot of rural, peaceful, and it's called the Garden State because they have really nice gardens and growing. They've got the when you go down there, the trees are way bigger than the trees in Vermont.
I think that's my problem is I've only been in this area. Whoops, going a little far. I'm not used to the sensitivity on your mouse. This area.
Oh, see, I
haven't ventured enough towards this lush green.
Yeah, there's a lot of lush green, and I haven't really been in most of New Jersey. I spent most of my time right here, right outside of New York City, in basically, it's like this bedroom of New York City. So there's Newark, Paramus, that's the mall I would go to. I kind of spent time here. Hackensack. This was the area. So it's like the nicest suburbs at Bergenfield, Teaneck. Those are all places I recognize, Paramus, that I spent time around. You'll see there's a lot of super rich people, but then just a lot of generally wealthy people. And it's not like the best place ever, but it's not bad. Like, it's pretty clean. It's a little bland, but it's lush and it's peaceful and it's clean. So, and the people are pretty well off. And so they're pretty, at least in that area. See, I haven't been anywhere else. I mean, Atlantic City kind of has a bad reputation, but, that's the interesting thing about Philadelphia is it's right on the border. So it's I don't know. It's weird. It's like its own entity. You don't even think of it as a. Look at the look at the warp of the hills here. That's the mountains cutting off people that want to move west that I was talking about.
Yep.
The Cumberland Gap is
old Appalachia.
Yeah, so you go down from Philadelphia, then there's Baltimore, Washington. Like I was saying. And then Richmond, I think that's around where I got gas, somewhere around.
Around here gets real sketchy.
Oh,
Kentucky.
yeah.
Yikes. I have met some strange folk in Kentucky. Everywhere I stopped for gas or something to eat in Kentucky, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was just moonshine central.
I've never heard anything good.
West Virginia kind of bleeds into Kentucky, so there's like a lot of toothless.
There was this, I've heard this story multiple times from different people about when America was originally being settled by the English, kicking out the Native Americans. There was a group of settlers that were in like the West Pennsylvania region that were like no good, rabble-rousing, rough kind of people that were causing trouble. And I forget how they somehow got them to move west into Ohio. And now there's like this reputation of like the Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky area where it's like bad. It's like not good, like to be around. It's like not a good area. Yeah. Like they drove those people out. Like they were successful in driving these people into this area. But like West Virginia is like God's country. It's like it's the only state that's entirely in the Appalachian Mountains. It's extremely green, extremely mountainous. But yeah, they had that terrible opiate epidemic there in the mining countries there.
Yeah.
But like that's why I went straight to see Nashville, Tennessee. We're not talking about Kentucky. Like I don't want to be in Kentucky really. Virginia's all right. West Virginia, be all right to visit. I don't know if I'd want to live there. Ohio, definitely not. Indiana, no. I'm not really interested in any of the Midwest. Chicago's kind of interesting. I wouldn't want to be there. Pennsylvania, I could do. And when you get down to this New York, Pennsylvania latitude, it's mild enough in the winter that I could be pretty happy. You don't really have to shovel snow at all. And the most south I would go is probably Georgia. That's one of the health guys.
That's pretty far south.
That's pretty far south. So, here's Louisiana, Mississippi. That's and this whole area, that's where I was watching on those state tours. That was the poorest.
That's where the crowd daddy.
Yeah. They're like, hey, he's going down the street with his camera out the window. And people are just stopping and talking. They're so happy and they're so friendly.
Yeah.
It's nice. The nice thing about Tennessee is you're shielded from the tornadoes. You don't get the ocean tornadoes, really. You've got the mountains.
Yeah, you don't get
here shielding
storms too much.
You've got a nice southern flavor without being in the deep south, and you don't have the tornadoes. It's a nice, like Nashville. It's a nice area. And of course the Charlotte, Durham, Raleigh, is taking off like crazy. It's supposed to be really nice there.
I've got some kin around that part.
The only thing is once you get, like, we don't really have really bad areas in Vermont, but once you go down, like, there are places in North Carolina where, like, you do have to be, like, Fayetteville, if you type that in, there's, like, 1 million shootings that come up.
Yikes.
On the news. So Yikes. It's like...
Yeah, I don't want to get shot.
You kind of gotta... It's got good and bad areas, but... That's what happens when places are easy living, because when the living's hard, everybody's just, like, in pain and sucking together, experiencing the suck together.
Yeah.
But when life is easy... You'll get people who take advantage of it by just like, being rascals. And it's easier for them to be rascally.
Yeah. They call them good old boys.
But it's also...
Down south, you're a good old boy. You're always in trouble with the law, but you only get a smack on the wrist.
It's the good old boy.
Yeah.
But because it's easier to live, you also get people who are living like a good life, live an even better life. So you've got both. You've got like really nice areas and like really bad areas. That's what happens when the living's easier, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Yeah. That is one benefit to the Northeast and the cold, desolate Vermont is like there's not a lot of bad people.
No.
You don't have to worry about theft or like muggings or anything like that.
Not really at all.
So it's like there's not a lot of fun, but there's not a lot of terrible things either.
Did you know that like Massachusetts is the safest state, even at having like a large city, Boston?
Really?
Yeah, I had a friend that lived in Allston, right outside of Boston. His friend left the trunk to his car open all night. Nothing was taken.
Yeah, I can see
right out
that.
on the street, right outside of Boston.
Yeah, I like the Celtic, I like the Irish culture of Boston. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's got some of that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for that geography.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, last winter I got depressed and I just watched all these tour videos of like beaches in Florida, and then it extended to just all these other states that were like warmer than Vermont where there's no snow. I'm like, I'm just like, I hate shoveling. I hate this ice. I need to get out of here. But yeah, appreciate it. I'll invite you to my hog farm.
Okay, you let me know when you get that hog farm.
Down there in them news to get the hog farm going.
We go hog time one day. Till you have a barbecue.